Hi folks, today we're going to take a look at LIA and the other frauditors who decide to go to the Groton Town meeting to express their opinions about Sergeant Fahey and the incident that happened with Sean's arrest. But before we start today's video, as always, a big thank you to all of my current and new channel members and subscribers. Without all of your support, I couldn't keep the channel going, so I want to thank you all personally from the bottom of my heart. And a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is Aura. With everyone online more and more, you need to keep your personal information safe. This is where Aura can help. Aura is an online security for your personal information and your data. Aura offers peace of mind with 24-hour data monitoring. They also remove your data from data brokers, provide 24-hour credit monitoring. They remove your information off the dark web. Aura even makes sure data thieves can't get your data. And they are out there trying to find it.
And I'll find you.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
Won't.
Aura is offering you a free 2-week trial by clicking my link, aura.com/NCR, and you can cancel at any time. That's aura.com/NCR, or scan the QR code on the screen, or click the link in the description box. Thank you again to Aura for sponsoring today's video, and please don't forget to click the link in the description box and sign up for your 2-week trial of Aura. It's a great way to make sure your personal data stays safe, and it's a great way to help support and help out the channel. With all that being said, let's enjoy today's video.
First up is Sean Paul Reyes.
Champ is here.
It is now 6:35.
No authority over Sergeant Brian Fahey, former Sergeant Brian Fahey, but you have plenty of authority. Your police department has plenty of authority to level baseless, felonious charges against myself and my cameraman. That's good to it's good to know. My name is Sean Paul Reyes. I'm an independent journalist and the founder
You're not even a real journalism. That's right.
of Long Island Audit. I'm most importantly a citizen who cares deeply about accountability and public trust in law enforcement. On July 11, 2025, something happened here that should alarm every single person who believes in justice. A Connecticut State Police Sergeant, Brian Fahey, brandished a firearm, physically assaulted me, and even spat in my face while I was engaged in a constitutionally protected activity. Asking questions about suspected overtime fraud, a matter of clear public concern.
Shenanigans.
Nah, 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 nah.
Shenanigans.
Nah, 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 nah.
And we're calling shenanigans, folks, because Sean is lying right off the bat. Yes, he has a constitutional right to be a member of the press. He has a constitutional right of freedom of speech, the freedom of religion, the right to bear arms. Well, he can't use that one because he's a convicted felon, but what he doesn't have a constitutional right to do is trespass. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say he has the right to go onto someone else's property, especially when it's been marked and located as not his property or open to the public. There's no invitation for him to go there. He wants to make it sound like he just was walking down the street and he saw Fahey and he wanted to ask him questions. In reality, Sean trespassed onto a private road, went to his house, knowing that they have a prior history, knowing that a confrontation was more than likely to happen if he went to his home. And instead of leaving in a timely manner, he took his sweet-ass time, where Brian Fahey came out on the phone with 911 and a firearm, due to the fact that Fahey had took it to the courts before when he got his injunction order about the depositions, that people from Sean's following had actually made threats towards him. So, Sean, as a journalist, don't you want to be a bit more accurate and truthful?
Let me be very clear. I was 150 feet away from his door on my way out when this armed lunatic stormed out of his house with a gun in one hand, a phone in the other, and rage in his voice. He got in my face, bumped into me, threatened me, pointed his weapon near me, and then spit directly in my face and mouth, all while falsely claiming to 911 that I threatened to kill him, which is a crime for anybody else. This wasn't law enforcement. This was lawless under the color of authority.
Wrong!
What happened next? The Groton Police Department. I like how, Mayor, you like to try and single yourself out. You know, we're not in charge of the Connecticut State Police or New London Judicial District. But what happened next? Your police department arrived And instead of arresting the aggressor, the person who committed felonies, they arrested me and my cameraman on baseless charges of felony voyeurism, criminal trespass, and breach of the peace. My bond, which was set by your police department, was originally set at $10,000. But on body camera, they told me they were receiving calls from high up. Was it you? Was it you? Who were the calls from high up? Was it the police chief who worked for the Connecticut State Police for 22 years? They received calls from high up and they said, well, now your bond is $75,000. $75,000.
Now, Sean, your bond did get raised up because you committed a Class 4 felony in the state of Connecticut. Because, yes, voyeurism usually does have a sexual-based element to it when people commit that crime. However, in Connecticut, they have malice voyeurism, where you go with the intent to annoy and violate someone's privacy when they have an expectation of privacy, like at your home. Sean, you knew you were going to put this video out in a negative light to make him look bad. You had a malice about putting out your video on Fahey because all of your videos on Fahey show you have a malice disdain towards him. And don't act like you're innocent. You did break the law when you committed the criminal act of trespassing. The private road indicated it was a private road. You did not have any invitation to go to his door because you had to cross onto that private road knowing you didn't have a right to be there. You did commit disorderly conduct because your actions going there did have the risk of causing an outcome like this. Now, no one's going to defend Fahey for spitting on you. That's wrong. However, you must take accountability for your own actions and your own wrongdoing.
This isn't an isolated incident. Accountability isn't optional, transparency isn't optional, and it is your public duty as public servants to do the right thing because the people of Groton, the people of Connecticut, and the people of this country deserve better. And you're cowards for limiting it to 2 minutes.
Oh, blow it out your ass.
You can list your address for me.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
If we do not have order within the chamber, I do have the authority to clear the chamber.
Just
Thank you. Be very true.
Just let her have it. Just let her have it.
I'm disgusted by you, Mayor Franco.
Your name?
I am Leroy Truth of the University of Investigations on YouTube. Please subscribe to me now.
Did you really just try to plug your channel while you're trying to talk to the city council and the mayor about this tragedy or travesty of justice? I mean, I get it. You want to get your channel out there. You want to get those numbers up, but this is coming off as a bit cringy for that. But let's talk about the seriousness here. This group of frauditors and their supporters, which is only a handful of that, are really trying to make a mockery of the city council meeting. Yes, they have a right to express themselves, but the city council meetings also have the right to enforce the rules of decorum, meaning if they want to interrupt, make outlandish noises, they want to make a mockery of this, they can go into a recess and they can stop the public comment section of the meeting. How would that actually help them? Because you're trying to get this message that this travesty of justice happened, but you're making a mockery of it. And, well, it's only going to be more of a mockery once you hear how Leroy Truth and the others speak about this situation.
Good evening, everyone. Let me just say, I get it. I totally understand why Connecticut State Trooper Sergeant Brian Fahey would spit directly into the mouth of peaceful journalist Sean of Long Island Audit. I mean, Sean had the unmitigated gall, the unspeakable audacity to walk, not run. You can look up Mayor Franco, give a little respect here. Sean had the audacity to walk, not run, not teleport, not evaporate at 186,000 miles per second off Fahey's property after being told to leave.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
I mean, come on, Sean. What were you thinking? Everyone knows when a Connecticut State Trooper with an ego the size of his government pension says, "Get off my lawn," you're supposed to dematerialize like you're in a Marvel movie. And the way Sean dared to stand there with a camera, not a gun, not a grenade, but a Canon or a Sony or an iPhone or whatever those damn peaceful auditors use these days, he might as well have launched a nuke, right?
Okay, well, nobody is expecting Sean to pull a move out of an anime or a movie by instantly teleporting off of the property when he was told to get off, but he did need to get off the property in a reasonable manner. Not take his sweet time talking to his cameraman about being denied the questions or the answers to the questions that he wanted. Now, there's something else here. A week after Sean was arrested, you, Full Court Press, and Garden State Accountability, who was cosplaying as Sean, decided to go to Brian Fahey's house. Why didn't you guys go onto his property? Why didn't you cross the private road? Oh, wait, because you knew if you did, you could be charged for criminal trespassing. Regardless if the state trooper was there to watch Fahey's house to make sure there was going to be no other confrontations, you know if you were to cross onto that private road without permission, you would be committing the act of criminal trespassing. It's not about the fact that he went to the house to ask him questions. It's the fact that he crossed onto private property without permission. You had the opportunity to do the exact same thing, but you chose not to because you didn't want to get arrested as well.
The horror, the tragedy, the nerve. But seriously, let's flip the script, because that's what this moment demands. Sergeant Brian Fahey is not a hero. He is not a protector. He is a government-issued goon with a badge and a bubbling psychological breakdown. He didn't have to come out of his house. He wasn't under threat. He wasn't provoked. He chose to close the distance. And you tried to get away from responsibility. The reason that this shite show happened, number one, Brian Fahey spitting into the mouth of Sean Long Island audit. Number two, your police, the Groton police, arresting, mind-blowingly arresting an innocent journalist and an innocent cameraman.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
Who gave that order, Mayor Franco? Who gave that order? That's why we're here. Don't blame this man. He's a journalist. He's been doing what journalists have done for generations. Try to get the truth, and you can't handle the truth. What do you have to say? You discuss me. You discuss we the people.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
What you tried to do with the time, I'm not giving you my name. You don't deserve a name. You don't deserve an address. Thank you. All right. What you did with the time, what you've never done before, limiting this public speaking time to 2 minutes is terrible. I commend you for bringing that point up, a rule that's never been used. This is all to silence we the people.
No, it's not. It's not a tool to silence the people. It's a tool that they use to keep the meetings in a timely manner. Now, it is a rule that they can limit the time to speak to a reasonable amount. In this case, 2 minutes instead of 3 minutes or 5 minutes, depending on what their charter says. If the rule is on the books in their charter and it says they can do it, then it's not against the Constitution. It's not a way to silence the people. I mean, so far from what we've seen, if they were to give these guys more than the allotted 2 minutes to speak, this would be a shit show and a half. I mean, Leroy Truth didn't bring up anything but quotes from movies and science fiction. Sean left out crucial information and it distorted his narrative of the event that happened to being that he was just a peaceful auditor trying to get answers to questions that this madman came out and threatened him, leaving out the fact that he did break the law into doing so. This isn't to silence the people. It's to keep order. Because you guys, and I mean this to the auditors that went to this town meeting, would do everything you could to disrupt the order to get your way. Because it's not about peaceful protests or holding the government accountable. It's about getting your way.
Us. We want a voice, but now you've limited our voice. You've limited the speaking time just to 30 minutes. 30 minutes. You see how many people are here? You don't want to hear us. That's why you limited the time. Disgusting. All right, so I'm here today because of what happened to Sean Paul Reyes in your town. He was arrested for peacefully filming and asking questions, something protected by the First Amendment.
That's cap. Totally cap. That means lie.
At the same time, a police officer allegedly spit on him, pulled a gun, and was not charged. That's not fair. That's a double standard. Groton now has a choice. Will you stand up for fairness? I don't think you will. I definitely don't think you will. You just want to hide it under the fucking rug. Truth and the rights of the people. Or will you protect the bad behavior by staying silent? I bet you will. I bet you will. Now,
Well, isn't that statement the pot calling the kettle black there? Because you're doing the exact same thing with your own words there. You're saying that they're trying to hide it and that they're covering up the illegal acts of the police and retired Sergeant Fahey. But you're doing the same thing with Sean. You're hiding out the fact that he trespassed. You're hiding out the fact that he has a known history with Sergeant Fahey. That he's done everything in his power to try to annoy him, to harass him. He's actually made a challenge to fight him in one of his videos. But you keep that hidden, don't you? It's not the fact that he broke the law you're upset about. It's the fact that he's being punished for it. And you don't like that. If you don't like the fact that Sean broke the law and is now facing the consequences of that, perhaps you should hold him to a higher standard. Why is it that frauditors want to hold the police and other members of government to a higher standard that they don't have to hold themselves? They want to call themselves journalists, but they don't hold themselves to those same standards that journalists do. Their standards are lower for them, but for everyone else, they must be at the highest levels. If not, they are corrupt, they are tyrants, and they don't care about the people or our rights.
I ask you to take this seriously, look into what happened, be open and public, and make sure this doesn't happen again. I would like the other council members to stand up and speak up because this mayor clearly won't. Please, this is crazy.
Good evening. To my fellow freedom enforcers who showed up tonight in the name of accountability, and to those men and women in uniform still confused about who the criminal was in Long Island Road video. Spoiler alert, it wasn't the guys with the camera.
Care to revise your statement, sir?
What? Do you want to change your bullshit story, sir?
My name is Full Court Press, and tonight I've got a humble request. Arrest me. I see how you operate, and I don't want to miss my turn. In Groton, you don't need to break the law to be arrested. You just need to document someone else breaking it. Let's walk through it, slowly for those still taking notes in denial. A journalist, Long Island Audit, knocks on a public official's door, leaves when asked, calm and respectful. Then bursts out of the house, little Brian Fahey, off duty, armed, enraged, follows the man toward the street, spits in his face, gun on his hip, badge in his mouth, ego on full auto.
Now, there's some stuff we need to break down here. Yeah, Sergeant Fahey was off duty, meaning he was not acting as a Connecticut State Trooper. So, Sean's argument of him acting under the color of law, right there, out the window. His cameraman wasn't arrested for, simply going up to the house of a public official. His cameraman was arrested for the criminal trespassing, the malice voyeurism, and the disorderly conduct. That's the same charges Sean was given. Not to mention, you guys are leaving out the fact that he trespassed. It's not that he went to ask questions. He went to a property he had no permission to be on. This isn't like going to his office or catching him outside on a public sidewalk. You want to be arrested? You want to make yourself a martyr for this cause? Well, you can do so. But you're leaving out a lot of crucial facts. And another thing, Sergeant Fahey had every right to protect his property, knowing that him and Sean have a confrontational history where Sean has made claims that he wanted to fight him. His followers have made claims that they wanted to harm him. Anybody would want to protect their family and their property if they have a person trespassing who knows that person wants to cause a scene or possibly do something to get into a fight with you.
What does Groton PD do? Do they arrest the armed man who just committed assault? The one shouting, "I'm a goddamn Connecticut state trooper," like it's a spell against accountability? Nope. You arrest the guy asking questions. And for extra laughs, you arrest the cameraman too. Because apparently in Groton, the real threat isn't the guy with the gun, it's the guy with the tripod.
Come here. Shut your stupid ass up.
If irony were a crime, you'd be doing life without parole. Let's talk law. Connecticut General State Statute 53A61. Spitting is assault. Physical injury includes pain or impairment of condition. Saliva counts. That's not just gross, that's criminal, and the only people denying it are the ones protecting little Brian Fahey. What he did wasn't disgusting. It was a crime committed in public, on camera, under color of authority. And your response? Cowardice, corruption, collusion.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Thank you.
So here I am, clean record, voice steady, camera ready, and I dare you to make your next mistake. So go ahead, arrest me. Throw me in a cruiser, I'll live stream it, narrate it in real time, and by the time the ink dries on your report, half the country will know your names, and none of them will spell hero.
Oh, you were finished? Oh, well, allow me to retort.
This is why they wanted to limit the time for public comment, because these guys are not doing anything to try to bring awareness. They're not trying to get the city to do anything. It's just turning into a bashing of Brian Fahey, trying to make up conspiracies that the town's working together with the Connecticut State Troopers to protect Fahey, to punish an innocent independent journalist. Sean's not innocent. His cameraman is not innocent. This was a planned effort on Sean's behalf to go and try to confront Brian Fahey to get an ambush-style interview. He broke the law. That's what you guys are forgetting. He broke the law to do this. Now, is Fahey wrong for what he did? Yes, he's wrong for spitting. Everyone who sees the video on both sides of the fence, pro-auditor, anti-auditor, they say the same thing. Spitting on Fahey was wrong. However, what the auditors are not doing is calling out Sean for breaking the law. Sean broke the law, but nobody says he's in the wrong. He's just a victim. But when Fahey defends his property and himself, he's the criminal. He's the tyrant. He's the madman who's unhinged.
Who's up next? Hi, John Felix, Transparency and Accountability Coalition.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
You can try to say you don't have jurisdiction. You do have jurisdiction over the Groton PD. They did make a false arrest against Sean Paul.
No, they didn't.
He's not the criminal. He's the victim of a Connecticut state trooper. And you're saying you're not protecting him, but your PD did protect him. And you're trying to deflect the blame on other people. You have jurisdiction over the people who made the false arrest, and your constituents are going to have to pay for it. You understand that, right? You don't just get to say, oh, it's not me. Oh, it's not me. It is you. You are in charge of them. I flew all the way up from Florida to come here to talk directly to you. What's wrong with you?
Well, let me ask you some of those same questions and some of my own. Why are you guys hiding the fact that Sean broke the law? Why can't you take accountability, or he take accountability for his own actions? Why are you even there? Are you even there for the truth? Are you even there for transparency? You're there because you knew this would be a great way to jump on the bandwagon without having to throw Sean any money. I mean, this is no different than when you go to Clearwater or any other town council meeting in the state of Florida and make a shit show of it. You don't care about it. You make a mockery of this. It's not about holding somebody accountable. It's not about transparency or the truth. It's about you getting more eyes on your YouTube channel, getting more clicks, getting more views. You guys act as if there's a grand conspiracy out there because Sean discovered some secret. You guys don't even get the facts right when it comes to about Fahey's pension and how it works. You could have broke the law like Sean did, but you chose not to. Sean chose to commit a crime. You chose not to. Why can't you do the same thing as him? Why can't you be that same martyr for this same cause? Unless you're scared to give up your own freedom because you know you'd be doing something wrong.
And now you're taking 3 minutes away from me? You don't think that's just going to enrage us more? How would you like it if someone spit in your mouth? Would you like that? What if they did it to your child? What would you do then? Would you have your husband beat somebody up? Is that how you operate? The fuck is wrong with you? You have jurisdiction over the Groton PD. The Groton PD fucking did this. And now they're maliciously prosecuting him, and your fucking constituents are going to have to fucking pay for it.
Is this just a genetic thing with you? Is it congenital? Did your mother drop you on your head when you were a baby?
You feel good about yourself? You're going to take some responsibility or not? If you fucking vote for this dumbass lady ever again, you get what you fucking deserve. Stupid ass.
Wow, that was like listening to Churchill address Congress about joining the war, or when Dr. King was making his famous "I Had a Dream" speech. I mean, the sheer purity of the linguistic powers of this moron is out there. You're not helping the case here. You are not being transparent. You're not being truthful. You're just causing a scene. This is your First Amendment right, by the way. You have the right to address your government and to express yourself. But if you want to help your cause, show off that great linguistic skills you have. Show them that you're the great orator that you claim to be, that you have the power to move people with your speeches. From what I'm seeing, I just see a guy who has had too much hot air put in him and he can't get it out all the way without screaming and acting like a child. You're mad because they only gave you 2 minutes? This is why they gave you 2 minutes. Because they see how you guys act. You don't think they're watching your videos or people are telling them about your videos? You guys admitted that you're going to turn this into a shit show, and you clearly accomplished that.
Is this Groton, Connecticut, or is this rotten, Connecticut? Because right now what I'm seeing is a whole bunch of rottenness.
What the hell is even that?
Good evening, council members, mayor, and fellow Americans. I'm not here tonight to cause a scene. I'm here because a line has been crossed, and that line stomped on and violated by a disgraced and now retired Connecticut State Trooper, Sergeant Fahey. Last month, Sean Paul Reyes of Long Island Audit, a journalist, a First Amendment auditor.
Oh, a bullshit artist.
A man holding a camera was assaulted, spit on, cursed at by that nasty, wretched, vile animal. Not in a back alley, not during a riot, but in broad daylight as he was engaged in his duties as a journalist and exercising the rights guaranteed under the Constitution.
So, are you trying to say that just because Sean is a quote-unquote independent journalist, he's immune from criminal prosecution? That he's immune from the consequences of the laws that everyone else has to face? Actually, no. According to Brantsburg v. Hayes, that case has actually established that even journalists may be granted the same information as the general public and have the same access to the areas that the general public have, but also states that even a journalist is subject to criminal and civil prosecution and litigation if they commit a crime. Sean committed a crime. That's why he's being punished. It's not because he's an independent journalist trying to ask questions. It's because he broke the law. You guys don't want to accept that fact. You don't want to accept that reality. You want to make the reality of your own personal narrative of the government is trying to silence the journalists, which is not true.
And what happened next? Nothing. No arrest, no suspension, no accountability. Except for this man. He was arrested. His cameraman was arrested. Connecticut sent a clear message. The same message we've seen with Mississippi, with me. The same message out of New Jersey with Leroy Truth. That journalism is a threat. That transparency must be punished. That cops can commit crimes on camera and walk away clean.
No, you're lying. You're lying. What makes you lie?
But this is not how it's supposed to be. We have three branches of government for a reason. When the courts won't act, when the legislature stays silent, the executive branch, this town, this city council, this mayor, you have the power to say enough is enough. You don't work for the state police. You don't answer to bad cops. You answer to the people. And the people are watching. The nation is watching. And the world is watching to see if Groton has a spine. So I ask you tonight, pass a resolution, condemn this act of violence, defend the First Amendment. Because if we don't stand up for our rights, we'll lose them. And once they're gone, they don't come back without a fight. Thank you.
It's funny. He's trying to make the argument that the town of Groton, New London criminal district courts, and the state troopers are trying to silence the media. That there's this great grand conspiracy, but there's not. You call yourselves journalists, but you don't act like journalists. You don't hold yourselves to the standards of journalists. You don't hold the ethics of journalism when you do your independent stories, when you go out and do your interviews. I mean, why can't you guys be more accurate? Why can't you guys be more truthful? Why can't you show humanity? Why can't you guys accept that Sean broke the law? You know, you say you guys are there for support. You're there to be a beacon of light for Sean so he can keep on fighting. We're almost done with this video, so I want you to take a listen to what the mayor has to say about what one of these great supporters of Sean Paul Reyes did at this meeting before it started.
I would like to also notify Mr. Burt that prior to the meeting starting, Councilor Rusk did have spit on her seat. So I know we have recordings in these rooms, so if it would be possible to look at these recordings to see how this played out. It's very inappropriate.
Yes, one of these fine supporters for the non-criminal acts of Sean Paul Reyes on that fateful day decided to spit in one of the councilman's chairs. Yeah, you know, you guys say you're trying to fight for equal, transparency. You're trying to fight for our rights. But when you do stuff like that, how does it help us? So we're going to end it here, folks. If you guys like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up and a comment because it helps me with the algorithm. Don't forget to check out my second channel, the podcast, and don't forget to click the link in the description box and sign up for your 2-week trial of Aura that you can cancel at any time. With all that being said, be well, be safe, and I will see you guys next time. And a special thank you to all members of the news team. Without all of your support, I couldn't keep the channel going. So I want to thank you all personally from the bottom of my heart. You guys mean the world to me, and I could never thank you enough for all the support and encouragement you guys give. You guys rock.